When we engage with stress, we have 4 potential ways that we're going to cope. And we kind of have ones that are fixed to us, right? So people know about fight or flight or fight or flee, which I'm going to talk about. But what people are not as aware of are the other 2 Fs, which are freeze and fawn. Okay, so let's talk about what each one looks like. And I'm going to give a couple of different examples. So fight is pretty self-explanatory. It can show up in a lot of different ways. Actual fighting, but it can also show up through experiencing rage, anger, anything that really feels like an aggressive reaction to when stress comes in, which we'll talk about. Flee could really just be like, I'm out, and somebody just gets up and walks as their way of coping. The freeze really can show up in a lot of different ways. This could be someone who just shuts down. We can talk about it like analysis paralysis, I call it sometimes, where we really can't think, we can't do, but it also just could mean that we're disengaging, right? So some people really are very keen on disassociation, which we can talk a little bit about, but that would be a really significant way of freezing. Fawn is something that's just being talked about now that people do not know are a way of dealing with, stress. And the fawning is really extreme people pleasing. Okay. Fawning is people pleasing. It's lack of boundary setting. So I'm going to give you 2 examples that I have in my head where you have a scenario, and I'm going to walk through what each one of those would look like. Okay. So let's just say we're talking about 2 dudes right now, because we don't talk about guys and mental health too often, right? But we're all walking with shit. Now, remember, these coping strategies that we developed them by the time we're 8 years old. So when we're in a bar and we're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, the way that we're reacting, unless we've done the work, is really from the seat of the 8 or the 10 or the 12-year-old, right? So let's just say, for example, a guy is sitting at a bar and someone bumps into them or says something nasty to them. Fight, very self-explanatory. Dude, what the hell is your problem? And now that part of the person that is the fight is kind of coming forward within themselves, and they're going to get aggressive, right? So they're going to react in a way that hopefully in their subconscious mind is going to upend that person, and that person will walk away, right? Imagine like it's a fiery bear that comes out. It's the roar, okay? That's the fight. Everybody knows what the fight looks like. Rage, anger, aggression. The flee could be, this guy goes, I don't have fucking time for this. And he gets up and he walks out and he leaves the bar, right? We're just disengaging completely physically. Now, freeze could be, imagine this, some dude hits another dude in the bar, maybe accidentally, maybe says something nasty to them while they're sitting and having their drink. And you've seen this scenario where the guy just keeps his head down. He just keeps drinking. Or he just disengages and he ignores. Now, it seems like a relatively good coping strategy, but really what could be happening is they're completely disassociating and not even connected to the experience as a whole, because the feeling inside is the same for all of these. It's anger. But when we are disassociating, the feeling is so intense, we literally leave the body. Okay? Fawning, remember, you've got bumped or somebody has said something nasty to you. They might even be trying to provoke it. They might not be trying to provoke it. The fawning person turns around and goes, oh, dude, I'm sorry. Even though they didn't do anything wrong. Can I buy you a drink? Okay. So now they're trying to befriend out of a way of gaining safety, right? Remember, the anger is, I'm going to fear you off so you do not come back to me. The flee is, I'm out. The freeze is, I'm just going to shut down. This is like playing dead when a bear is chasing you. And the fawn is, I don't feel safe, so I'm going to make nice. I'm going to make nice. That's what that would look like. I like using that scenario because guys are like, oh, that totally makes sense to me. And by the way, you've seen it. You've seen it happen every single time you've been in this scenario. Okay. Now let's talk about what it looks like in a household with, say, a child and a parent. Okay. Let's just say it doesn't even have to be aggression or abuse or an act of violence at home. It could simply feel like I don't feel enough. Okay. So say you have a kid that's challenged in school and the parent comes home and says, I saw your grades. Only thing said. Only thing said. Okay. But insinuates something between the parent and the child. The fight is going to be now the kid's getting super defensive, right? We know what that looks like. Now we've coming up with excuses and it's not my fault and da. And you can feel it. There's this sense of anger and really like pissed offness that you're even asking me this question. Okay. That's the fight. I see you nodding because you're like, that's me, right? And we all know when it's us, it all resonates. The flee is, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm tired. I got to go take a nap. But it's something that you're going to do to literally withdraw from the situation. Okay. I have to get up and go to the bathroom. You're going to stop the kid from going to the bathroom and you think they're going to go have an accident. So, okay, go. And now they're in there for a while, right? Because they don't know where else to go. They don't know what else to do, but they need to disengage in some way, shape, or form because they're afraid and the feelings are too big. I don't know how to deal with it, so I'm just not going to deal with it. I'm going to withdraw. Freeze could be, and I've seen this at home, complete disassociation. You can almost see a complete checkout. Becomes robotic, becomes monotone, isn't fighting, but isn't fleeing, is there, but not there. Okay. And the fawn is, I know. I'm going to do better. Everything I can do better. I'm going to try harder. I'm going to. Again, insinuating what is it that I need to do to make you happy to either A, feel safe if it would not be a safe environment, or B, to just stop the conversation. Because in each one of these, the feeling is shame. I did something wrong. I'm not enough. Me, wrong. And so we show up in these different ways as a way to deal with an emotion that's just too heavy to bear.